I introduce as not Chris today?
Yes. Great. All right. Welcome back, everyone. This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Will.
And I am not Chris.
I am Eck.
And I am Installation.
All right. Guys, go ahead and introduce your YouTube channels again. EckhartsLadder can go first.
Yeah, so I'm Justin. I run the channels EckhartsLadder, which is a Star Wars, Halo, sci-fi lore YouTube channel, and also the gaming channel X2. And I've got a podcast as well called TapCaf Transmissions, just sort of a Star Wars Legends book club.
And I'm Installation00. I'm a Halo lore YouTuber, do most detailed breakdowns of Halo technology, and do a second channel called MULTIVERSE that does the same kind of stuff but with other sci-fi universes.
Cool. I know that we're 4 days into this, but do you want me to call you Justin? Or
No, go for
EckhartsLadder?
Justin. I prefer Justin.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I can't call you Ecky then.
Yeah.
You can call me, I get called Eck all the time. I'll respond to any of it. Ecky, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird actually meeting like YouTube channels or like meeting the host of a YouTube channel that I listen to, because then it's like, oh, that's a real person. They have an actual name.
Yeah. No, call me whatever you want. People on my Discord call me Dad. I don't like that. Don't call me Dad. But I already got one kid, so
that's very interesting. Okay.
yeah.
Well, moving on from that. So today is a Throwback Thursday. And we're going to be talking about Star Wars Racer Arcade, or Episode 1 Racer, which, just going through a couple facts here, it was a racer arcade in 2000. It was developed by AIM-5 and LucasArts, and it was released by Sega. It was based on the Podracer scenes in the 1990 film Star Wars Episode 1, which is honestly one of the funnier scenes. You remember when the little alien goes, "Rah!"
Yeah.
Yep. That's my
of course
favorite.
I do.
I rewatch that scene all the time. It features 4 tracks: Tatooine, which is the one that was in the movie, Bantha tracks, Eti 4, Smuggler's Cove, Malastare,
Yeah.
Pixelito. Is that right?
Hold on, let me get the script open. I don't know which. Let me take a look.
Weird names.
84. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Okay, and then Boonta Eve.
Yeah, that's the one Anakin races.
Right.
Okay, cool. And then you get 4 Podracer pilots: Anakin Skywalker, Ben. I'm not even going to pronounce. Quadraneros, Gasgano, and Sebulba, which everyone plays as Sebulba, right? You don't want to play as Anakin; he's a little wimpy kid. And then it plays like a normal arcade racer. Mm-hmm. And then there's also some other versions of this game released on like the N64
N64
PC, Game Boy Color, which I had no idea this was on Game Boy Color. That seemed like a kind of a terrible platform for this, but Mac, Dreamcast, and also it's going to be on Nintendo Switch.
There was even a sequel, I believe, called Racer's Revenge, which I didn't realize existed until recently.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until earlier this year, but apparently it's like it's a story from Sebulba's point of view after being beaten by Anakin, and it doesn't sound nearly as interesting as the original.
Yeah, you try to beat up on a little kid and you fail. Good job.
Yes. So I mean, I've actually never played this game. However, I have played the N64 version quite a lot, and actually recently rediscovered that I have the gaming manual for it.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was looking through, and the thing is, it has a lot of like screenshots of the game. Oh my goodness, the graphics at that time were terrible. So bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
And the thing is, what's crazy is that as a kid, that game blew me away. I thought it looked so real. It was like just like the movie. But man, going back, it's just a bunch of blocky characters.
I just remember that game has a good sense of speed, though. You really get moving. It is a pretty high-skilled racer too, from what I remember. Anyway, it's been a minute since I've played it, but I don't recognize all. I will say I don't recognize all the maps. I remember Malastare very distinctly. I don't remember Eti 4. Eti 4 is actually a pretty famous Star Wars planet too, because that's where some of the old Han Solo book series from the 80s was set. But I don't remember that map being in the original game, so that's kind of interesting.
I'm surprised no one sort of thought to maybe like emulate this on like a VR headset.
Right.
That would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the new arcade cabinets for Star Wars, like you take a command of a like a TIE fighter or a X-wing, which is a lot of fun. And like you actually get in the pod and it like moves around, which is really cool. But this would be a really good adaptation into something like that. We could actually feel like the throttle in the seat.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Even if it was just at Disney or something, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So I guess, I mean, because I haven't played the game, do you guys think that scene in the movie was very good, or do you think it was part of the like one of the sillier scenes in the episode 1?
Also, I just saw in the notes that you had the Racer Revenge thing. Sorry about that, but I remember when I was a kid, because like when I was a kid, I must have went to go see that movie like 10 times because everyone had a birthday within the release window of the Phantom Menace went to go see it. Everyone was crazy about the pod racer scene and still is, but I thought it was so boring. It's like I go to Star Wars to see like space and like Jedi and stuff, so I'm like, that's just racing, you know. I think it's so technically impressive though. It's really incredible that they managed to make it look so good in 1999, like, or for release in 1999. Like the movie still, parts of it. I mean, most of the movie holds up really well, and that pod racer scene especially is still really impressive visually. Like I would rather watch a documentary about the making of that than the actual racing itself, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to see like a behind the scenes of the sort of the technical development of that scene. I mean, it's like so. For example, like Jurassic Park, when they made the behind the scenes on how they actually went about recreating dinosaurs and all the other work that went into it, realizing how much effort goes into creating a scene like that gives you so much more appreciation for it. And although I agree with your sentiment that the scene itself is in the movie is somewhat lackluster, it's just a sort of a generic, you know, sort of, it's just racing. Being able to understand just what kind of technology they needed and any limitations they had and how they managed to accomplish certain things within those restrictions, that would give me probably a much greater appreciation for the scene. But otherwise, yeah, like you say, it's a scene of racing. It gives a small amount of juxtaposition and context to Anakin's history, but apart from that, it serves
big chunk of the movie too.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
minutes.
exactly, yeah. But it serves very little other purpose other than just maybe that's why they did it. They just wanted to demo what they could do with whatever technology or engine they were using at the time. Maybe it was literally just kind of a showcase piece, more so than storytelling. But yeah,
I think that scene actually holds up better than some of the scenes in episode 2.
Oh,
so like
absolutely.
them like driving through the city in those like hover car things, like that honestly looks so dated now. But going back to this pod racing scene, because they actually like blended CGI with practical effects pretty well. So some of the crashes, like you actually have like an actual vehicle crash.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even like the stands, they've got toys in the pod racing stands. They have like action figures, and one of them is actually Prince Shizor from Shadows of the Empire, which I always thought was pretty cool. There's a little Shadows of the Empire toy in there.
I'm sure. I might be sort of completely misremembering here, but I'm sure I remember seeing something about like the creation of like of that scene. They had like a high shot in the movie where you could see the crowds, and I'm sure I remember seeing something where they recreated that simply with Q-tips.
Oh yeah,
Am I right?
Actually, I
Do I actually remember that?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure there were Q-tips the further back you get, because like it's the same in any movie. In really, there are some that you can really notice it in, like sports movies. You'll have real actors, and then you'll have Star Wars will often use matte paintings behind it, but then you'll have in sports movies you'll usually have cutouts, and then sometimes you'll just have, you know, a picture. I'm pretty sure in the pod racing scenes they have real people, you know, up close. And then they've got the action figures, and then I think they even have Q-tips behind them, like colored tops. So I know exactly what you're referring to. That might be something else, but I know I can picture what you're talking about.
Okay.
So, do you guys think that this pod racing game has any legacy, or is this kind of a genre that has just died out?
I don't think it's doing a whole lot for modern gaming, to be honest. It's just kind of from a golden era when Star Wars is getting lots of content, lots of video games. Like, yeah, kind of a shame we don't get more kind of genre games like that. Like, for the N64, we had Rogue Squadron, we had that, we had Shadows of the Empire, we had Starfighter,
Bounty Hunter,
and probably more that I'm not thinking of. So yeah, there was a lot that came out, and that was a point really too when Star Wars was not very popular. That was really the middle of the dark ages, because it was the early 90s before the prequels. Star Wars probably had its lowest popularity in a very long, maybe all time, really. And they were still pumping out games. So.
I do think there's still opportunity. Obviously now Star Wars is had somewhat of a resurgence, and you know, I mean, yeah, there've been some mixed opinion with more recent entries, but it's still had a resurgence. I still think there's an opportunity, perhaps, with like I said earlier, with VR. If they had like a development tool that just the talented folks that occupy the Star Wars community could get hold of and have a play around with that, I'm sure they could develop some like VR games that are like Podracer games, or you know, lots of other varieties of Star Wars sort of focused games with VR. I think that would be something people would be quite interested in getting their hands on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. They're really cool.
Most of the good Star Wars games now, they're coming out are mods for other games. So, yeah.
Are you looking forward to the new Rogue Squadron-esque game, or what? I don't know what
I'm really looking forward to that, actually. Yeah, that's gonna be great. That's gonna have a full VR mode as well. And it's gonna like support flight stick and stuff. So I imagine some people are gonna get really, really into that game. But yeah, everything that I've seen has been basically exactly what I've been looking for, and I've been talking to some of the EA guys, and everything that I've heard has been very, very good. So.
Are you disappointed that it's going to be mostly multiplayer, or do you think it's a good thing?
I think there's going to be more single player actually than people are expecting. Okay. Because there is going to be an Imperial and a New Republic single player campaign, and I've heard whisperings that it might be longer than some people are expecting.
Well, I hope you're right, because that would be very exciting for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else to say about this game?
No, I'm excited to. Because I think you mentioned that it just came out on the Switch again, Star Wars Racer, and I purchased it, so I'm excited to give it a try.
Awesome. All right, with that, this has been the CHRILLCAST. I'm Will.
And I'm TiMMy.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Installation.
And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.